It's me, Counterpuncher of the Week Era Grand Slam Trash Talking Renting Champion in full effect. And I'm coming about tennis fans showing phony concern and phony support to Ukrainian tennis players. Since there's a full-on war going on between Russia and Ukraine, all of a sudden, all the Ukrainian tennis players are getting all this emphatic, encouraging pro-Ukraine support. These tennis fans are out here treating those Ukrainian tennis players like they are like worldwide war heroes, and all they're doing is going out there and playing a sport, hitting a tiny yellow ball over a net. With the amount of outpouring of support that these Ukrainian tennis players are getting, you tennis fans are treating these Ukrainian tennis players like they're the ones out there on the front line with guns in their hands out there in the field fighting with the Ukrainian army. But no, none of those Ukrainian tennis players, they're not doing none of the real heroic fighting with their countrymen, defending their country against the onslaught of Russian tanks and the Russian army that's invading their country of Ukraine. Nope, they're not doing none of that. They're only playing a sport, while the citizens of Ukraine are fleeing the country and it's burning down in the background. All these phony, fraudulent, fake supporting tennis fans showing fake concern and fake support to these players, specifically Ukrainian players like Dayana Yastremska and my personal favorite Ukrainian tennis player, Lesia Tsurenko. When he's saying fake, "We support Ukraine," tennis fans was not showing them support or never gave them any support at all before this war. Especially with this Dayana Yastremska. Oh, the tennis fans love her now. They're propping her up as a symbol of courage. Oh, she's so brave, still having the mental strength and fortitude to hit a ball over the net while her country is at war. We support you, Dayana Yastremska! But where was you same tennis fans back in 2020 supporting Dayana when she was more concerned with the United States Black Lives Matter movement? This chick was out there doing the most. This chick painted her face half black, posing half naked, basically whoring herself out for the Black Lives Matter movement. And you saying we support Dayana Yastremska tennis fans blew it way out of proportion, causing her to get backlash to the point where y'all was saying she was in blackface and it was racist. I made a whole video about it. But my main issue with Dayana was, why was she showing so much concern with the political social climate that was happening in the United States in 2020 with the whole Black Lives Matter protest? And I mentioned in the video, why was Dayana involving herself in American social politics when her country was in a civil war with Russia? This is a case of when European people living in Europe, Europeans shouldn't be getting involved in American social issues. Unless you're European and you're a true ally for American social issues, then that's completely fine. But this chick, she's European, she's from Ukraine, and from what I read, she still lives in Ukraine. She doesn't even live here in America, so this social justice warrior, Black Lives Matter movement BS that's going on here in the United States has nothing to do with her. I understand right now that there's like a civil war going on in Ukraine that I read about like 3 years ago, and apparently this civil war has been going on for like several years now with like nearly 15,000 casualties. So Dayana, she should focus on political issues that's going on in her own country and not what's going on here in America. Like, focus on bringing social unity between Ukraine and Russia so they can stop killing each other in that civil war over there. Dayana, why don't you bring awareness to that and stay away from American social issues? That's what she should be using her social media platforms for, to bring awareness to the political and social disturbances in her own country with what's going on with Ukraine and not worry about what's going on here in the United States. That was the only problem that I had with Dayana Yastremska. And I came to her defense once again when you same tennis fans was accusing her of faking injuries by using MTOs for gamesmanship. Getting upset at Dayana saying she was faking injuries for using medical timeouts. I was like, that's why if MTOs are not meant to be accessed by players if they're experiencing ailments during match play, then tournaments will not regulate medical timeouts and let players use them in tennis matches. And you same tennis fans chastised and reprimanded her once again during her alleged doping scandal. It seemed like Dayana did not have a fan in this world that did not want to defend her after she was proven not guilty for using performance-enhancing steroids. I do admit, I did criticize her as well, but I left that doping affair situation at bay when she was found not at fault and was released from suspension and returned back on tour last July. And later, I had to mention and defend her yet once again because you ass tennis fans were still attacking her. She's a cheater, she's a doper, she's using steroids. I said she was innocent. This woman was cleared by the ITF to play on tour again. I have receipts of myself defending her. And Dayana Yastremska. Okay, my approach with Dayana Yastremska returning back on tour has to do with how everything played out with the way that she returned. And she was cleared of all wrongdoing, like they did not find her at negligence with the banned drugs found in her system. And she claimed this whole time it was because of cross-contamination, but the only way I could think of how the banned substance could have gotten into her system through cross-contamination, it's a bit graphic, so I'm not going to explain that here. But it's the fact that she was cleared of negligent wrongdoing, and the ITF said that Dayana barred no wrongdoing, so I'm basing my opinion based off her return on that fact. But it seemed like you petty tennis fans, you were all quick to fake outrage and want to find something to outrage about in tennis. Because only watching tennis, that's not good enough for you. You have to find something to complain about also. And every time I bring up the fact that she got dismissed and being cleared of all wrongdoing, and then I get attacked for bringing up facts. It's like you miserable tennis fans don't want to hear the fact that this chick went through all the proper legal disputes and everything about this claim against her, and she was cleared by the ITF to play on tour again because they found her not at fault. And I get attacked because you fake outraged tennis fans want to vilify a player. I swear, it's like the average age range of these fake outraging tennis fans, it's like from 12 to 22, because that's how they act. I know I go on rants about players, but I'm not going to sit here and vilify this woman and continue ranting on her after she was cleared of all charges. You tennis fans were still criticizing her, calling her a doper after she returned back on tour, and I came in defending her because she was proven innocent. But all of a sudden, these phony, fraudulent tennis fans that was trying to take down Dayana Yastremska's reputation on tour by insinuating that she was a racist, she's manipulating medical timeouts for gamesmanship, and continue to criticize her after she was found not at fault for that failed drug test. And now all these fake tennis fans want to come together and show support for a player that they never supported. And the same phony bandwagon Ukrainian support is being extended out to Lesia Tsurenko. She now has a whole influx of, quote, supportive, unquote, fans, showing up giving her all this support like, oh, I'm so sorry for what's happening in Ukraine. We support you. What was all that support for Lesia when she was going through injuries and not playing her best tennis? Where were all you supportive fans then? Because most of you tennis fans that sending Lesia all these well wishes, I feel so sorry about Ukraine, may God be with you, don't even know what injury she's been suffering from the past 3 years that has been causing her strife in her tennis career, causing her to retire or withdraw from tournaments and take half of last season off because of the same injury. You all probably didn't know Lesia has been battling chronic injuries for the past couple of years, but yet you all showing up giving her all this fake support over a war. Yeah, Lesia has been at war with her body, fighting injuries, trying to stay healthy. It's been like Lesia did not have any fans for these past couple of years because I did not see none of you showing up to give her support and giving her well wishes to recover from her injuries and to stay healthy. Yeah, Lesia, she really does need our support when she's not playing well in her tennis career, the career that makes her very livelihood. Well, since you all are fans of her now, how about giving her supportive well wishes for a healthy recovery so she can continue playing tennis so she can support herself and her family? What was all this support when she's not playing the best tennis in her career? I mean, if you're going to support a player, you support them through everything they're going through, both personal and career-wise. Because I've been here supporting Lesia before this war, especially when she's struggling through injuries. I've been there. I've been supporting her all the way. Well, since you all are fans of her now because you all concerned about what's going on in Ukraine, and I'm like, where was her fans at when she actually needed her fans' support? Leaving all these fake supportive comments on her social media and all on message boards. Like, where was you all with all this support for the past 3 years? I know where you all been. Y'all was nowhere supporting Lesia. I've been a fan of hers for 5 years. I've been supporting her through the good times and the bad times. Was no fans there. Yeah, there'd be some tennis fans that come around to make fun of her, talking about how trash she is, talking about how ugly she is and how undesirable she is. You all showed up to say that. But you all was not supporting her when she was not playing her very best. Now, all of a sudden, here all you fake-ass supporting tennis fans come, showing all this fake show of support for a tennis player you all never even liked or cared about. To you fake, phony, supporting Lesia fans, let me tell you all something. With Lesia Tsurenko, I've been the one supporting her. I've been the one that's highly anticipating her first match back from an injury. I'm the one going out of my way to make sure that I'm sitting there on my couch watching one of my favorite tennis players come back from an injury and playing a sport that she loves. I'm the one that's sitting there cheering her on through the match. I'm the one that's been bummed out, feeling empathy because Lesia had to withdraw or retire from another tournament. I'm the one for the past years losing hours of sleep from waking up out of my sleep to watch Lesia play live so I don't miss her matches. I've been the one doing that. Now that's the type of support and dedication I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real Lesia Tsurenko fans like myself. The same thing with Ekaterina Alexandrova. She's my favorite Russian player. I'm not going to stop supporting her because Russia is invading Ukraine. That has nothing to do with her. She happens to be a citizen of a country that she's representing. She can't help where she was born, and she can't help that Vladimir is bumming up Ukraine. It doesn't make sense to me, so why would I stop supporting Ekaterina Alexandrova? If I stop supporting Ekaterina, I'll be just as fake as these tennis fans that's giving all this fake support and concern to all these Ukrainian tennis players. I'll be just like them if I was to do that. Be like, no, I'm not being a fan of Ekaterina anymore because she's Russian. That would be phony, immature, bandwagon, fake Ukrainian supporting of me. And on this channel, I'm all about keeping it real. I am still going to support Ekaterina Alexandrova because Ekaterina has to face adversity now. She has to play under hostile conditions because of you hating ass, fake ass wanna be supporting Ukraine tennis fans. And that's gonna have to make Ekaterina have to play out there and be a strong fighter. She has to have courage. It takes courage to play in a hostile environment created by the biased media and these fake ass wanna be supporting Ukraine tennis fans. Now I have to support Ekaterina more than ever now because the hostile atmosphere in tennis you phony supporting Ukraine tennis fans have created towards Russian players. It's not fair that Ekaterina and the rest of the Russian players have to play under antagonistic conditions based on something that the president of Russia did. The war in Ukraine, it has nothing to do with Ekaterina, and it has nothing to do with tennis. But me trying to explain this to you fake outraging, fake supporting Ukraine tennis fans is just like me standing out on the tennis court trying to explain this to a backboard. You tennis fans are treating Ekaterina and other Russian players like they're the ones flying around in fighter jets bumming up Ukraine. That's how immature and irrational you tennis fans are. It's not all tennis fans, it's just those fake ass wanna be patriotic for Ukraine tennis fans. Them bandwagon supporting Ukraine tennis fans. The same ones that's showing all these Ukrainian tennis players all this support. Oh, we are with you, the world is with you. And the bandwagon fake ass support for Ukraine don't stop in tennis, it's happening with these Americans as well. I'm driving home from work and I see a pickup truck driving down the road flying a Ukrainian flag. Like most Americans that's saying, we support Ukraine. Y'all can't even point out Ukraine on a blank map. And y'all talking about y'all supporting Ukraine. Y'all don't even know where Ukraine is. Y'all just know it's located somewhere near Russia. Tennis fans and people around the world pretending to support a country that they never supported before in their lives. Up until now with all this fake concern and fake outcry for Ukraine. And I'm going to tell you why it's fake. What was all this outcry of support against war for the last 8 years? After all the Ukrainian uprising against Russia happened back in 2014. So where was all the concern for Ukraine when they was having that civil war against Russia since 2014? I'm American and I knew about the civil war that was going on between Ukraine and Russia, and no one was talking about it. So you fraudulent wannabe supporting Ukraine tennis fans, cease with the attack on Russian players, because your phony asses did not show any concern for Ukraine's impending war with Russia for the past 8 years. And this has been my thoughts on the fake, phony, fraudulent support for Ukraine and the Ukrainian tennis players. And this has been Counterpuncher, and I'm out!